What's up, everybody? Welcome to Viewpoint Abroad. I'm John, your host, and thanks for watching, man. Today, I got a couple of things I want to talk to you guys about. First, I just want to let y'all know I'm excited and I'm a little bit nervous. I don't normally do the whole video thing. I don't know, I always felt it's kind of awkward or strange. I don't know what to do. But today, I just decided I'm going to just punch fear in the face and do it, man. Sometimes you gotta step out of your comfort zone if you want to, make any progress or do something that you've been wanting to do and haven't done it. Sometimes you just gotta, step out there and do it. So that's what we're doing today. First video. So what we're gonna do for this video? Two things I got for you today, right? First thing, just really quick, I'd like to give you an overview of the whole channel, what this is about, or what we're gonna do here. Obviously, Viewpoint Abroad, it's about living abroad, right? So I just want to let you guys in my life here and let y'all see what it's like to live in another country and experience daily life here, so I can show you guys around outside. We'll go have a look at everything. We'll learn a lot about different aspects of Chinese culture, everything, man. We'll talk about, Chinese food, like real Chinese food. Not American Chinese food. We'll talk about, the food. I'll take you guys with me to eat and stuff, man. We'll talk about relationships, dating and friendships, working relationships. We'll talk about working, like if you interested to find a job here, or even just want to know what it's like to work here. We'll share all that information here with you guys. So you're gonna see a lot of stuff about just life here in general and culture, because it's much different. Yeah, it's the same but different than what you guys are used to. So so many things to talk about. So we'll get to that on this channel. But today there's a question that I want to answer. So I get this question all the time, right? And people on Facebook, they message me, people I haven't seen for 20 years, and they say, hey, what's up? What are you doing? And I'm like, well, I'm in China. And they're like, well, why are you there? And how did you get there? And get bombarded with all these questions. So I'm going to share the story today. How did I end up in China? And the interesting thing about this story is a lot of people don't know. Even my own family don't know, all the details or the facts about this story. So I'm going to share that today with them and you guys at the same time, right? So kill two birds with one stone. Let everybody know how I got here, why I'm here, what happened. I'm not going to share too much information, right? I don't want to get too personal, but there's a, it's a roller coaster ride, man. There's some ups and some downs, and really only one person knows the entire story in entirety, and that person took the story to the grave with them. So I'm going to share this with everybody else today for the first time. But like I said, I'm not going to get into too much detail, right? Not going to get into too much detail. I don't want you guys to know everything, right? Some stuff doesn't need to be said. So that being said, man, let's just start. Let's dig into the story. If you can give me, man, maybe, I don't know, man, 10, 15 minutes of your time. And we'll make it quick and wrap it up. I don't want to just be a talking head and you guys just looking at some guy talking to you, right? So we're going to end this quick. I'm going to have a little drink real quick. I talk too much. I got my drink with me just to, so I can keep talking. So, man, let's just start at the beginning. And, let's just do that. Start at the beginning, man. Start at the very beginning. I'll make it as quick as possible. I'm not going to fill you guys through my whole life story, but just how I ended up here. So, first, man, we will start at the early stages of my life, though, because that's when it started, man. I think ever since I was a kid, this thing has been kind of subconsciously in my mind, man. It's always been there in the back of my mind about wanting to go to another place. I'm not going to say China, but always been in my mind to go to another place and to see other places and this kind of thing. And I'm going to blame that on my father. So if you're listening, Dad, it's your fault. it's your fault I'm here. I mean, I've enjoyed every minute of it. So that being said, man, when I was about 8 years old, my dad had this like a library in our house. I call it a library. It wasn't like a big, huge library, but when I say library, I mean like like 4, 5, 6 bookshelves, and they're all full of books. Lots of books and stuff in the house. And they weren't kids' books. They were obviously they're like adult books. They were like, I guess, my father's books. And one day he came home. Again, I'm gonna say I'm around 7 or 8 at the time, something like that. He came home with his box of these Britannica encyclopedias, right? And them things was old. I think them things was like from the 1950s or something. And like this is around, I don't know, 1988 or something like that. So anyway, he come home with his big box of these Britannica encyclopedias. And I liked to read, man. When I was a kid, like I really did enjoy reading. And I'd pick up those encyclopedias and I just start at book number 1. I'd open the thing up and I would read it like, man, front to back, reading the encyclopedia. And I know some people be like, that's boring. Why are you reading that? But I actually really enjoyed it, man. I like history a lot, I guess. And reading those historical stories about the world, it was like really fascinating to me. And I guess because I was so young too, I had like a vivid imagination, and I could picture myself in those stories and being in those places at those times in history and experiencing those things. Like I felt like that as a kid, like I'm in the story. And I think that kind of stuck in my mind, and I always knew like, okay, I want to do something else, I want to go see something else. Oh man, I lost you guys. Sorry, I was running out of power, man. So anyway, I knew I wanted to go somewhere, do something, see something different. And so when I got a little older, when I was young, there was no internet or nothing, man. We didn't have none of that stuff back then. When I got a little older and the internet came out, I started, chatting with people on the internet in other countries. I just thought it was interesting, man. Like I was a teenager, I was always out, running crazy, chasing girls and all that. And being able to talk to somebody across the world in another place was really fascinating and interesting to me, just because it's so different, it's really different. And so yeah, man, I talked to this girl for a long time, and then one day I just, and when I say a long time, I mean like a year or so, maybe longer than a year, maybe 2 years. It's a long time. And so anyway, I made up my mind, man. I decided I'm gonna like go see this girl, and so I saved up some money, got on the plane, and I left, and I went to the Philippines to see the girl. And I stayed there for a long time, and I really loved the country, and I loved the girl. I fell in love with her. I'm gonna say let's say we fell in love. I'm gonna say that. Hopefully I'm not wrong, but we had a really great relationship. Everything was wonderful, and I really loved the place. And eventually I ran out of money, man. I didn't have any money, and I did everything in my power to stay there. I wanted to stay there, and I couldn't, man. I ran out of money. I had to come back home. So I did that, came back home, and then but I still, I wanted to go back, of course. So I started working again, saving money, and then maybe another year and a half later, keep in mind at that time, I'm still really young. I was like early 20s, and like the minimum wage was like $5 an hour. No, like $4 an hour, $4.25 or some shit like that. Oh man, you can't save no money like that. Anyway, I stayed for like a year and a half. Sorry, y'all. After about a year and a half, I got enough money for a plane ticket, and I went back to the Philippines for a second time. But man, it was too late, man. The relationship kind of deteriorated and fell apart. No bad things between us. It just happened like that. It just over time, and we both kind of lost hope, I think. I can't speak for her, but I lost hope, myself. I lost hope. I thought it was never going to happen. But I did make it back eventually. When I got back the second time, again, like, struggling, man. Like, no money, can't find a job. It's just impossible. And, you know, I ran out of money. And I called my parents, asked for money. And they wouldn't give me any money. And I don't think they had money to give me anyway. But if they did, I don't think they would have given it to me anyway. Because, they're like, oh, you're like 20 years old and you're young and you're stupid. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Right? So, but I was rebellious and crazy, young. I stayed, man. I stayed and stayed and stayed. And eventually I ended up homeless. And I was literally sleeping on the streets, man. I slept on the streets in the Philippines for a while. And, man, it was kind of scary in a way. Like, not scary, like, I wasn't like scared of like danger in a sense. I was more scared like, is this it? Like, is this my life? My life is just gonna be this. I'm just gonna be here and homeless and no family, no nothing. And so eventually, it wasn't long, man. Like just a few weeks or something, man. Like a few weeks went by, maybe a month, and man, I was sleeping on a piece of cardboard, man. Anyway, after some time went by, I came back anyway. I said, no, I can't do this. I'm going to go back home. I went back to America, and that was pretty much it, man. I went back home and work, and kind of forgot about this dream. And then I don't know what happened, man. I really don't know what sparked it. I think it's just the progression of the internet and the availability of information. Because, a lot of people have been traveling abroad since the beginning of time, right? But now, just because the progression of the internet, and now we have, blogs and all this other stuff, and you have these guys who are, retiring overseas, and they're writing blogs about it and all this other stuff. And so now the information's out there. So I start reading and studying about, how to find a job abroad or how to move abroad. I'm studying, reading information. And I came across some article, and it was talking about these 3 countries in Asia, and like everybody's like, oh, China is the easiest place to find a job, and at the same time, everybody's like, well, you can't apply online. Nobody's going to hire you. You have to literally be in China, and you have to be on the ground to get these jobs. And so I don't know, man. For some reason, it just convinced me. And so I saved some money with the plan of coming to China. And so I did, man. I got my plane ticket, and I had $1,000 saved up. So the ticket's about $1,200 or something like that. So I paid for the plane ticket, and then I had $1,000 cash left over. And that was it. I was going to go. So I flew to China. I flew to a city called Shenzhen. It's known as the Silicon Valley of China. It's like the tech capital of the world. Anything tech is kind of made in Shenzhen. I flew to Shenzhen, and very next day, man, after I got off the plane, next day, I was on the ground, and I was going door to door, looking for jobs, knocking on doors, looking for jobs, and keep in mind, I have no credentials, no nothing. I'm still a young 20-something-year-old kid, and I have a GED, nothing, man. And I went in this school, and man, the timing was perfect. It was hiring season. For the easiest job to find in China is a teaching job, right? Teaching English, and it was during the summer holiday. So all the kids were on vacation, but the kids were about to start school. So all of the schools were hiring at that point in time. And, I'm here on the ground, and I showed up to a school, and I was walking in. I'm like, hey, I'm looking for a job. And then so happened that the owner of the school was there that day. And it was just by chance, I guess. I don't know. It's just lucky. The owner is never there. And anyway, he talked to me, or she talked to me, and she was like, where are you from? And I was like, I'm from America. How long you been to China? 5 or 6 days. And then she's like, so you think you can teach English? And I was like, I've never done it before, but I'll try. And she's like, okay, you're hired. Start tomorrow. So I was like, okay, that was easy enough. So Next day, man, I started working, and I stayed at that school for 7 years, and I learned a lot about teaching and education system in China, and working at that job. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to the job to you guys over there at the school. I don't want to say the name because actually the school is not even in business anymore. They were taken over by the government. But anyway, shout out to them because they gave me enough money to be able to go back to school and get my education. So yeah, that's a big life changer for me actually. In China, when you work, right, you just work by contract. You work for 1 year, and then after the 1 year, that's it. You pack up, you leave, you go to another job, right? Or or the place will like you and they want you to stay. So after the first year, the boss comes in and they say, oh, the parents really say all these good things about you, and the kids like you, and all the working staff always talking all these good things about you. How about you work for us another year? And we'll give you some more money. Okay, sure. They gave me more money. I was happy as could be. And then just kept going, and 7 years later, I was still there making more money. And I was able to pay for my education. I went to school. I got my bachelor's degree. Then I went on and kept studying and got my master's degree. Thanks to them. They allowed me the time and gave me enough money to be able to make that happen, which wouldn't have been possible if that didn't happen. So. Yeah. So basically that's it, man. That's the story. That's how I got to China. Long story short, I showed up, $1,000 in my pocket, knocking on doors, found a job, and here it is 11 years later, and I'm still here, and I'm doing wonderful, and I really love the country a lot. I love China. I love being here. Right now, man, there's nothing I would change. I'm happy with the decisions of coming here, and hopefully in the near future you guys can see that. You guys can come out and see all the things about the culture and the country and all the things that I love about the place. But I'll also share with you guys the bad part. Of course, I'll tell you guys the things that I dislike about China, because no country is perfect, right? But there's all have good things and bad things, and they it just matters on what you're willing to trade off or what you're willing to sacrifice in order to to be in a place. So it has its perks and its pros and its cons. So I'll share all that with you guys later at another date. I don't want to make this video too long. You're gonna get bored staring at my face, So I'm gonna call it quits here. If you have any questions about China or Chinese culture, anything like that you're interested in, you can just let me know, right? Let me know in the comments, and I'll make a video about that and answer those questions for you and talk about that particular topic. And then if you have any questions about this story, or you want to know more about this story, because I didn't tell you guys everything, right? But if you want to know more, again, comment down below and I'll get that information to you. So last thing I want to say before I go, if you liked this video, just hit the like button for me, man. Hit the like button if you liked it. And that's it, man. We're going to call it quits here. I'll see you guys next time with a new video. And take care. See you later.
Hold up.